Hello guys, we'll give it a couple more minutes, but today we're going to take a look at another game, Carrier Battles 4, I think, Guadalcanal campaign. But the main one that we're going to play today is another scenario, and that is, of course, going to be Midway. Most interesting one, I think. And as we're waiting for, things to start a little bit over here, we can talk a little bit about the options that we are going to play here. So, today we are going to play Japan, and we're going to try to pull off a Midway campaign and hopefully sink a couple of US carriers. Let's see whether that is going to work out. Now, I did play that once on my YouTube channel, and I think we did play the which one was it? I think we did the Coral Sea scenario. So historically the one just before Midway, and we were extremely successful there. So that was kind of interesting. But in terms of Midway, what I want to do here is look at the options, and what we're going to do is we are going to select these options randomly. So the way that this works is you have a couple of things that you could enable, like for example Yorktown here, and say that Yorktown has been damaged during the Battle of the Coral Sea in May, and it is not possible to repair it in time. So historically, Yorktown was there. We could turn this off. We could say Yorktown shouldn't be there, and we don't, and basically will not show up. That would correspond to our success in the Battle of the Coral Sea, but I do want the challenge today, so I don't want to tick that box. I want the computer to basically roll a die and say whether or not Yorktown will be there. The advantage of this is, and what I really like about this is, we do not know. We do not know whether Yorktown will be there. Maybe Sukaku will be there. I don't know. Maybe Saratoga will actually be there too. So there's that level of uncertainty, and that I think is very important when you talk about the Battle of Midway in particular, because historically the Japanese didn't really know whether the Americans were there, in what strengths they were there, and so on and so forth. So I think this is going to be a very nice selection over here to have that be done as a random choice. Right. That being said, we could also play a random side. I don't think we want that. So yeah, let's go ahead and let's play Japan. Let's see what this battle does have in store for us, and whether we're going to be successful. Haven't played that offline yet, so I'm really open to see how this is going to play out. Now, here's the scenario info. The Japanese will attempt to invade Midway, of course, as they did historically, where the US will ambush them. Well, that is the historical choice. Japanese task force starts very far away from Midway. It is advised to launch air search missions and to leap forward by several hours. Long press on the next button. Midway does not repair over time, so that's good to hear. And the Japanese command clearly underestimates the US carrier's threat in this battle and will be less efficient in searching for them. Only seaplane scouts may be launched by the Japanese until one US carrier gets discovered, at least level 4, or Japanese ships get attacked by a carrier airstrike. That does correspond to the historical situation in which Japan really, really was very slow in reacting to the potential US carrier threat. And there's an excellent YouTube video on that, by the way, which I'm going to link to in the description, at least on the YouTube channel. So, not by me, but by some other bloke. So, yeah, that is going to be the situation. Our objective here is to strike at Midway and invade it so that the US does not get too much victory point for it. Sink the US fleet in the vicinity. We don't know how strong it will be. This is going to be a 3-day scenario until 1900 hours and 40 minutes. Dawn is going to start at 4 o'clock, and the beginning of the air operations is basically 80 minutes after that, and at 20 o'clock, so basically 8 p.m., night will fall. Historical notes, we can basically skim through that. I think the scenario info that we discovered, and then chosen options. Does it actually tell us? No, we don't know whether any of these options have been chosen, as pretty much we want to. Right, so let's go to the map and see what we have in store from our side. This is the map. I do kind of like it. It's very functional. And let's turn off the grid system for here for a second. We've got Midway over here. We've got a couple of Japanese fleets here on the left side of our little battlefield. And as you can see, weather effects are present, and they are going to be hugely important because it's kind of more difficult to discover any ship below a cloud cover. Basically, search planes and so on will not be that effective. Now, there's not that much to the interface, and I actually like that because it's super clean and a very nice cut out system. So, yeah, I think this is good. Right, let's see what we can do. This is our objective down here in the island of Midway, as of course we know. There are some enemies based over here, and we've got a couple of ships that whose basic job is to converge on that region. And honestly, I think that is more or less what we're going to do. We have some item here that doesn't matter too much. We can move about our fleets here manually. For example, we could ask Task Force 20 here to move into any of these areas here. Doesn't matter too much. I don't think we're going to bother with that. They are all going to be on an autopilot. I think that's fine. What we do need to check is what we've actually got in store here. So we've got Task Force 5, Haruna, with a battleship. That's good to see. We've got a couple of destroyers here. That's not so important. We've got Task Force 11, Nagutu and Mutsu, so very heavy battleships. That's good to see. Also Isi and Hyuga, so a lot of capital ships here. That's interesting. We've got more transports over here, transports and destroyers, transports and destroyers. Basically, these are going to be the invasion fleets, but they are not carrier planes or carrier ships, and they don't have carrier planes, of course. Right, we've got Task Force 20 here, Fusu and Yamashiro, also battleships. And then this is Task Force 7. This is the important one. Suriju, Hiju, Ruchiu, and Suhiju. So the historical battle carriers that were present at this battle. We've also got Taiju and Hushu. These are escort carriers. I don't know whether they were actually present. But we've also got Task Force 13, so Kaga and Akagi. We've got a lot of major capital ships here that are available to us. So basically, how many carriers have we got? 4 carriers, isn't it? Suriju, Hiju, Haga and Takagi. I think that's pretty much exactly the historical setup. So that's nice to see. Also, hello, Nuclear Strategist. Good to see you again. It's nice to have you around, by the way. Right. So these are all the ships that we've got. Mainly our capital ships are down here. Now, I think you're currently set to go right for this hex over here, aren't you? Hex 2, 3. Yeah, you're basically just going to beeline towards Midway. I think this is fine for now. We don't need to be too concerned with that. But what we can do is we can set up our air operations here. And this is the second screen that is important. Honestly, I don't like it from just the way it's set up, but it's very functional, so it does work out quite nicely. It's just the graphics are a little bit. I just don't know. Right. So the way this works is you've got the task force down here. You can see the various carriers and escort carriers that we've got. We have basically all of our planes are currently in the hangar. That's fine. It's 4 o'clock in the morning, so we can't fly anywhere yet. This is just too early for that. But you can see we've got 0, so A6Ms. These are fighters. We've got slightly more dated fighters, and we have got dive bombers here on the escort carriers, and various other things here on dive bombers, torpedo planes, on the proper carriers, and all of these guys are fine. Now, what you can do is basically, let's grab one of our escort carriers here, is what we can do is we can move one of these 3 counters here onto, let's say, the combat air patrol pattern over here. It's going to take 80 minutes to prep and get into the air. That's fine. That's basically just mostly it waiting for daylight. Then these guys are going to fly over the plane, over the ships, and they are going to be able to put out some cover over there. What we can also do is we can also send out strike missions. We don't have a target yet because we don't know about any enemy. But what we could also, for example, do is set up our planes here, our B5Ns, as torpedo bombers on the runway. So basically prep them so that they are able to launch a little bit early whenever we do find an enemy. That's fine to do, but it doesn't necessarily help us altogether all that much, especially not on these carriers here. And if you do that too much, so if we are sending too many of these planes here on this, we'll basically block the runway, and we'll see that all other operations do get a little bit more. Yeah, it will take more time. And here you can see that, right? So this is now taking 100 minutes to get these guys up in the air. We can probably prioritize that so that these guys are in the air, and after they are airborne, we're going to send a couple of guys here onto the runway to be prepared, which is fine. So we'll have them ready in the morning. Doesn't matter too much to have them ready right away, but I do think it does make some sense. You know what? Let's actually get rid of you. Let's send the A5M here on the Combat Air Patrol over Task Force 15. That I think should be fine. And we're going to do the same over here. We're just going to send out a couple of fighters over our fleet here, pretty much to make sure that we are safe. I don't expect to find any Americans right away, so I think that's going to be fine. Good. Right, let's see what else we could do. I think we should be able to send out a couple of search planes, and there's a slight weirdness in that you have to sort of pick the right... Come on, we did have some carriers here. Right, so the heavy cruisers, the CAs here, these guys do have search planes as well, and we are restricted to use these guys here in a search pattern, and you can do that in various ways. Basically, you're going to set up the arc, so how many degrees should the search pattern cover? 360, so all around 60 degrees at the minimum. I think these guys are pretty much in the corner of the map, so potentially, let's say, a 120-degree search radius might work out, but we do need to modify that slightly towards, I think, something like this. Let's say 180 degrees, and we're basically going to cover the right path of this. That should be fine, I think. Good. Maximum search radius here. I do think 20 hexes are fine. That should be okay. We've got two covers here. One of them is slightly faster, so they are going about this a little bit faster, but that's all right. So they are not quite as rigorous, I would say, but basically they're going to cover a little bit more. Right. You know what? I think that's fine. Let's do it like this. We're going to keep one of these guys here in reserve, but the other one should also go. That is okay. That's you guys. Do we have any other heavy cruisers and stuff? We've got Aruna, but I don't think you've got any search planes or anything like that, do you? I don't think so. Sometimes a little bit weird with the Seaplane DLC to pick the right ones here. But I should think that all of you guys do not have any search planes. No. Even certainly not Aruna? No. Okay, fine. And then let's check these guys down here. Now, the restriction of not using carrier planes, that is something that happened historically with the Japanese, in that they did not really send out search planes from their carriers themselves, which was a bit of a shame because it really did hamper them sometimes. But they were pretty much restricted to cruiser warfare. And the reason for that is basically they didn't want to give away their positioning. Wait a minute, that should be a little bit more like so, I think. They didn't want to give away their positioning. They didn't want to give away the presence of carriers to the Americans, whereas the Americans were a little bit more unfazed by that, and they basically were fine with giving away their position if they could gain an advantage in early detection. Okay, so right now we do have two planes here in reserve. That I think is fine for Task Force 7, and won't take too much time now to set all of this up. Right, we've got you guys. We've got a couple of heavy cruisers here and a couple of heavy cruisers there. You guys are fine. I'm going to leave you as is, Rob, for now. But Task Force 13, you guys can also send out all of your search planes, basically, in these various patterns here. We're going to do a very similar pattern over here. Let's do... Yeah, I think this is fine. Let's be a little bit more rigorous like such. And that is it. So that's all the setup. It took a while, but I think it's okay. Right, and then what you do is you basically turn-based advance this by 20 minutes. So it should read 420 in a second here, just as everything has been set up. And basically, of course, in 20 minutes, not much happens, specifically since it's still sort of pre-dawn phase. Air operations are not really going on. We could click this a couple of times until we are basically at 5 o'clock, which I do think is, or 5:20, which is basically the start of the air phases. And every three clicks here will mean that all of these guys are now going to move. So that should be fine. Everyone should move now and get a little bit closer to here. And you can see basically they did. All of this is lighting up as we're now seeing the air phase. And that's lovely to see. Right, we could start to make some fine-tuning moves over here. So specifically, it might be good to send a couple of our ships. We do have two moves currently. To send a couple of our ships here under the cover of clouds, because that is going to help them in not being detected. So that, I think, should be fine. It's also 5:20, so we should start to see the air operations now. And basically what you'll see is a couple of sort of circles starting out over here of planes that are starting their search patterns, and I think that's fine. Now, to accelerate this a little bit, we can basically go ahead here and skip a couple of hours. So let's skip the first 3 hours here. We will be notified if anything out of the ordinary happens. But basically now our search planes are going to go out. They're going to try to find the enemy. I'm not sure whether they're here. We don't really know where they are. But maybe they're over here. Maybe they're over here. Maybe they are at Wake itself. Right, and you can see sort of it's going outside here. All of this is okay, but we don't know. Sometimes they just might be hiding in one of these clouds. That might be one of the areas that are, well, relatively difficult for us to grasp. But I don't think we're going to see that much over here on the first couple of turns, because it's just the distances are, I think for now, they're too far away. That, I think, has been the first 3 hours here. So not much development for now, but on the other hand, I'm not too eager to find any Americans right away. Now, one thing that we should think about is if we look at this task force over here, for example, and we ask ourselves, can we actually strike at Midway? So at some point, we should think about striking at Midway. Let's look at the ranges over here. So we've got a range of about 24 hexes to Midway. You can basically see by the couple of smaller numbers that over here. So this is a range of 24. This would be 25. Now, that's 25 direction. This number down here, that's the range, but that's the overall hexes that these guys can travel. So basically, let's say the baby 5N over here. If we were to do a strike with these guys, all right, actually over there. Come on, can I actually get you, let's say over here. So if I give you guys bombs, you're going to have a range of 20 hexes. So basically, you're going to have a strike range of just barely 10 hexes, a little bit less if we want to be a little bit safer. So yeah, these guys are not going to make it over there, so that's fine. We don't actually need you over there. In fact, we can pretty much please, and thank you. Can I click on this, please? Yeah, you can basically see if we were to try to strike over here, basically no one would return to base. It would be pretty much more for suicide mission because it would take 50 hexes to fly. We really don't have that range, so yeah, we're not going to do that for now. I think that's going to be okay. Right, can I actually... Yeah, okay. Fine, there we go. Right, how about you guys? Can I get you a little bit further? No. 20 hexes bomb range, that's pretty much it. So that's a no. How about you guys? Bombs 30. Okay, that's much better, but it's still a far cry from 50. So basically, we can wait some time here until we are at least over here to start bombing Midway itself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to advance time here by another 3 hours. And basically, at some point, you should actually see our planes returning because they've been flying out so far. And they're now coming back towards us and probably going to be replenished and going to be sent out again. So no indication of any enemy presence yet. But that can change very quickly. So let's not get too excited about this leg for now. Pretty heavy weather down here. You can see this is a little bit cloudy, which is pretty okay for us. Let me get rid of this overlay here. Yeah, just the game does take a couple of moments to process these very long turns here. But that's okay. Right. So, still no American presence whatsoever. Isn't that interesting? Yeah, and you can see actually now some of our guys here are landing. Now, if I'm over here, can I actually send you back onto some search patterns? I think that would be fine. Right, you guys are all okay? Don't have any search planes or anything, no float planes here. Where are you guys actually going? 2347, isn't that? Yeah, okay, you are also going to Midway. That's fine then. Right, how about you guys? Yeah, let's do start searching. But I do think we should go for sort of maybe more like this. Yeah, I think this is fine. Yeah, let's do it like this. Send out more search parties. Try to find American carriers. Otherwise, what we're going to try to do is just close in with Midway. And hopefully, I think by the start of day 2 probably, we can send out some strike mission here at Midway itself. So, yeah, again, I'm going to accelerate time here and see what is going to develop. Since we haven't found anything, I'm fine for now. The question is, are American planes going to show up at some point? Ooh, over here. And that is not good, because you can see we're getting the first indication of the enemy. So this is the first contact, and we are seeing two things. We are seeing that there's an enemy scout about over Task Force 5, and there's a very bad thing over here, because they have been spotted at 12:20. They've again been spotted at 12:40, so basically another turn later. And that does mean he has spotted us, and he's now shadowing us. We're also seeing Task Force 15 being shadowed, so let's actually check who these guys are and what that might indicate. So 15, is that one of you? No, 15 and 5. Okay, Task Force 5, that's the Haruna. Enemy scout spotted. Not good at all. Not what I want to see. So let's try to bring it towards these clouds. That might help a little. Then we've got Task Force 15, so the escort carriers. That's also not great, but these guys do at least have some planes to try and shoot down these intruders. So let's send out a couple of planes over here. We can actually get rid of these guys here from the hangar, because I don't expect them to be launched very soon. Right, that's fine. That's the one thing. Now the other thing is, can we support Task Force 5 over here? And I want to grab Task Force 7 here. You guys are also escort carriers, right? Yeah. So maybe what we want to do then is take these guys over here and fly them all the way over to Task Force 5 to protect them. Basically, fly over there, provide combat air patrol to them, and return whenever your fuel starts to run low, which seems to be around 4 hours. That I think is fine. Let's send 2 planes. I think that's going to be all right, because it is still just barely 1 p.m. So that does mean if they've spotted us now, they might be starting to prepare a strike here coming from Midway, or in fact one of their carriers. It would be extreme range, I think, but they just might be strong enough to do that. So yeah, let's try to get rid of them, hoping that we can shoot down these scouts. Yeah, okay, Task Force 15 might be okay. Maybe they have not spotted them, but Task Force 5 is still in a bit of a pickle. So let's try to send you down below this rain squall here, hoping to shake them off. You can see some of our guys here are starting to run over in that direction, and I think that's fine. And I do want to make sure that our guys down here are in as much cover as we can possibly hope for, so that you're not being spotted. Right, let's get you guys under cloud cover as well. Same here with you. That's fine. Good. Okay, let's see whether we can shake them off, or whether we can find something else. You can see some of our other search planes, search options here are coming out. Right, and they are really coming into in force now. We've got guys over Task Force 15, 18, and 19. So that's pretty harsh. 15, 18, that's over here. 19, none of you. That's pretty bad over here, because we can't really hope to provide cover all the way over there. 15, you guys should have some cover of your own, so maybe that might be enough. Not entirely sure. And then we've got 19 down there, so maybe... Do we have further guys here in Task Force 13? Yeah, let's provide some cover for Task Force 19. Hoping to provide a good amount of cover there. Right, you guys are all fine. Let's send out 1 search plane here. I think that's going to be all right. And what I want to do is I want to send out a couple of more combat air patrol planes here, just in case they do start to attack. So, yeah, let's get a good number of planes here airborne. Maybe, just maybe, we can do something. This is ground-based planes, so we don't know anything about their carriers yet. Neither how many they have, nor where they are. Which is pretty much the historical situation. I mean, the Japanese weren't really aware that the American carriers were here at all. They had hoped to capture Midway before the Americans were actually making it all out of Pearl Harbor. But, as we know, they were grossly mistaken. Right, let's get you guys under cloud cover wherever that does feel viable. Right, you guys are fine over there, you guys are fine down here. Right, and as we are getting into the afternoon, I'm thinking that at this moment, potentially there might be B-17 strike or so coming in from Midway. And that would be the first test here of our situation. Especially these guys over here will be very hard to cover. And that might actually mean that we're going to take these guys here, Teriju and Hosho, and we're going to give you guys here a new target. So you're going to be autopiloted sort of in the direction of the northwest there, so that we maybe can provide some cover against any air attack there. Right, let's get you guys under the rain squall. That's okay. No American planes sighted yet, and if we do make it to 8 p.m., we will be actually fine. Because at that point, night will make basically any operations impossible. And even a little bit before that, we might be fine, because the Americans will probably not send out a strike that will only return at night, because that would incur massive losses to them. So I think if we don't see anything by, let's say, 6 p.m., I think we can mostly hope that everything is going to be fine. Right. Some fine tuning here, getting people on the way, cloud cover, and so on. But all in all, everyone seems to be fine. Will we find any enemy? I'm pretty certain that we are going to find someone in the morning, the next morning. But probably not on the first day. This is basically jockeying into position for the next day. Okay, when is nightfall? 8 p.m. It's now 6 p.m. I'm relatively confident that we have pulled this off so far. Watch me say that, and immediately some B-17s appear out of nowhere. I mean, they can strike all the way until 8 p.m. We do need to be mindful about that. But I don't see any scouts, so we might even be able to shake them off during the time that they're not monitoring us very closely. Okay, seems to be fine for now, so let's actually accelerate time here about around 3 hours again, just to see where everyone will end up, and then we will fine-tune them. Okay, yeah, you can see basically all of our planes are now landing because we are getting to 8 p.m. That's fine. Some of them are a little bit late, I'm afraid. That's not great, because that might induce losses over here as we are landing. But we are getting closer to Midway, and that is the important thing. So let's see whether we can get them over there. I think the plan will be somewhat historical in that we are going to send out a very strong morning strike here on these guys and hope to catch them off guard. And basically hope to recover all of our planes before it becomes relevant to look at the American carriers. Right now we are in a bit of a pickle because we don't know where they are at all. So they might be anywhere. In the morning, that's going to be a very tense phase because we don't know whether they will appear out of nowhere very close to us. So that is going to be an issue, but I think we might be all right. Good. Okay, so basically midnight now. That's all right. Come on, how many turns do we have? Sometimes the game could be a little bit faster. But it has been optimized quite a bit, and the developer has released quite a couple of updates over the last couple of weeks, I think. So that was very nice. Okay, 1 o'clock. I think that is another 3-hour turn here until we basically get to 5 o'clock when the morning phase starts. No, 4 o'clock is dawn phase. At that point, we can start to prepare some strikes, and that is going to be all right. Good. We will need to find our carriers at that point, though. Right. By the way, everyone's basically streaming towards over here, so that's going to be all right. It will expose us to counterattack, but I think we might be all right. Let's see whether that does work. Come on, just 40 more minutes, and we can start to set up our strikes. And here we go. Right, perfect. Okay, still morning, still can't fly, but we can set up our strikes, and that's the important thing. Right, let's start sending out search parties. Most definitely, all of these guys over here will be sent to look for any American carriers. I think you're going to go on a very gracious pattern over here of 240 degrees. So that should be more or less fine. There we go. That's been you guys, so basically search everything that's in front of us. I think that's going to be all right. Do we have anyone down here? No. No, basically I'm looking for these little orange thingies. If you don't have anything, you will definitely have quite a couple of search planes. So let's get all of you into the air and potentially find the enemy. And when I say all of you, it's basically just everyone except one. I think is going to be all right. And again, I think 240 degrees means we are going to cover a little bit less, but I really don't know where they are. So I'm going to err on the side of caution here. Task Force 13, you've got a couple of heavy cruisers as well. So I think that's going to be all right. Yeah, you can cover a little bit more to the north. That's also going to be all right. You're just destroyers. You guys do have some search planes. So yeah, let's actually do get you airborne. And I think you can be maybe a little bit more focused on the northern sector here. That should be okay. How about you guys? Task Force 21? That's so strong battleships. And you guys over here, well, got surprisingly many planes over here. Just 2 planes per group. That's quite a bit. Right, but I think you're okay over there. You guys? Oh yeah, we didn't we just select you? No, I don't think so. Okay, let's actually cover a little bit more to the northwest over here. I think that's all right. Yeah, that's okay. And then you guys probably don't have any planes left. No, that's okay. Right, so that's basically the search pattern. But we do want to start with a strike here, right? We do want to strike at Midway. So let's look at Task Force 13. We can basically look at our main task force here. So Task Force 13. Can you do a ground strike at the enemy? So let's start by looking at these guys. Okay, so if we're going to go with bombs, I think we should select bombs anyway. Is that the bomb set out or no? This is the bomb set out. Can I actually modify you? Can I modify you just by doing this? Will you now be set to bombs? No. Do I need to set you up this way? Right, I think probably we just need to define the target. Right, good. Let's click on this. So it's a distance of 20 axis to fly. In fact, it's going to be less because we're continuing to move on towards Midway. So I think that's fine. We're going to launch at 5:20, so the earliest moment that we can launch. We're going to reach the target at 7 p.m., 7 a.m., and we're going to expect to come back at 8:40. That's fine. We should use the same airbase when we're landing, and we're going to try to construct a single wave over here. You can send them in piecemeal. Doesn't make too much sense in the early morning assault, I find. So in fact, that should be okay. Right, you guys are set up correctly over here. Now with bombs. If we do send you over here, you should also be set up with bombs. Great. So we've got a good number of planes here that are going to come in and bomb. How about you guys? Can you send you in there as well? In fact, you might actually be a little bit better at that, right? So what's these numbers? Air to sea factor. Yeah, no, that doesn't matter too much. We do care about the air to ground factor and the air to air factor. So yeah, I think what we want to do is we probably want to send you in like such. The next thing we want to do is we want to send in at least a couple of fighters over here to support that mission. But now you can see something interesting. We're sending in 9 squadrons here. That's 4 planes each, and that is starting to look a little bit crowded. So basically, we are seeing that this is a bit too crowded. By the way, what are you? Ruggedness. You can't actually bomb anything. So in fact, we might want to just get you back. And now we are back to 80 minutes here, so that's fine. We're going to take the second carrier though. How many fighters do we have? 2. That's all right. We're going to send in another 2 from here to basically ensure that we do have quite a bit of superiority here. And then we're going to send in a couple of planes until we basically reach a point where that's too many. And that's a bit different for each carrier. So, but 9 is again a bit of an issue. So yeah, let's send one of you guys back. So that should be a very nice target over here. Do we have any priority? No, that's just a land strike. That's going to be fine. We're going to try to disable the harbor over there, and that should be okay. Now, Task Force 7. Can you do something similar? So can you strike at these guys over here? Yeah, looks like we're going to come in at the same time even, which of course is fantastic. I do want to send in a couple of more planes here. So this is going to be the most important alpha strike, I think. And that is all fine and dandy, right? So let's send you guys up over there. Let's send in... How many fighters do we have? One from you. One from you. Maybe one more here. That's going to be alright. Yeah. And send in a couple more. Right. Let's hope that that is going to disable the base over there in just one go. I'm also going to take the light carriers here and ask you guys to set up a couple of combat air patrols over the entire group, because I do not want to be caught off guard at all. So that should be okay. You guys can actually start to prep for a combat air patrol. We don't need you right away. Probably they're not going to reach us that early, but I do want to have a couple of you guys ready. So you know what? In fact, let's move the entire stack over here and start prepping for combat air patrol. I think that's going to be hugely important basis to do that. Good. I think that does set us up very nicely, doesn't it? Right. So let's see what is going to happen at 5:20 over here. We should see a lot of search patterns starting, and we should see that. Come on. We should see that they are gonna hopefully strike towards Midway and gonna be very strong about that. Once these guys have left, so basically pretty much now, I think. Let's give that 20 more minutes here. By the way, let's get rid of this. We should see them starting now. Yeah, there you can see. Lots of guys starting out towards Midway, so that's great to see. But the next big issue is to look at the rest. So I want to keep a couple of these guys ready to strike if we do find an enemy carrier. First thing is, we're going to... Oh, sorry, that's not what I meant. We are going to set up a couple of planes here towards Combat Air Patrol, simply to shoot down their scouts and do stuff like that. That's going to be alright. Now, the rest of these guys, I'm going to want to be on the runway here with bombs ready and torpedoes ready to strike at any guy that we find. And you are going to be set up for an escort pattern here. That's going to be alright. We're going to set you up for bombs, and all of you guys are going to be ready for torpedoes. These guys are super great fleet carriers, so I think they shouldn't be much of an issue. But yeah, let's set one of you guys up for escort, one of you for combat air patrol. Now we are starting to see some congestion here. Doesn't matter too much. Let's simply prioritize to get these guys here in the air. That should be fine. Task Force 7, you guys do in fact already have some planes in the air. That's nice to see. Oh, that's probably from the escort carriers. Yeah, I think so. So, escort carriers, you guys are ready. I don't think I can send you out to search patterns yet. So, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to ask these guys here to also be ready with bombs. And some of you guys here with escort duties. Just to make sure that if we do find them, we are ready to strike at them. These guys are a little bit more lightly built, so they are going to suffer from congestion quite a bit more easily. We do need to be careful to not overload them. That is going to work out. Okay, you guys, fine. Let's get a couple of planes here in the air. I really don't want to be found. So that should be okay. Don't think we need all of them. Let's keep a couple of them in reserve. But let's do make sure that we're going to prep some bombs and torpedoes here. I'm going to do either because it generally makes sense to come in with both. Right. Here we go. This is the first real big fight that we're going to face. Oh, I should make sure to move a couple of you guys here under cloud cover. And so, yeah, let's try to do that. Let's make sure that everyone who can is under cloud cover, as long as we're moving towards this direction. We might want to reconsider whether we were going to move our carriers at all, actually, or whether we're going to keep them back a little bit. So, in fact, let's take Task Force 13 over here. Let's turn off the autopilot, but let's get a little bit closer, right? So let's make sure that we are getting towards Midway, but I don't want to go all the way over there. Let's simply move you over here. And the other big important one was Task Force 7, right? Yeah, that is 13? 7? Okay, yeah, you also turn off autopilot. That's all right. And 13, you're going to also come here. Basically, everyone's going to jump on that Hax. But from then on, we'll start to be hanging a little bit back with the carriers, which I think might be all right. There we go. Our planes are starting to come towards the enemy there. That's fine. But will we be seeing enemy scouts? And we'll be seeing enemy carriers, most importantly. That's going to be the big question here. Okay, so here's a little bit of a rain squall. So I do want to move my task forces here, my carrier task forces, into that Hags. Make them a little bit less visible towards the enemy. That should be good. Right. There we go. Pretty much close to Midway now, so it's probably going to be over Midway next turn. And the turn afterwards, we're going to see the the proper attack happening. But you're still under the rain squall. Perfect. You guys over here are a little bit exposed, but I don't think it's too much of an issue. You guys over here, I probably should turn off the autopilot too and sort of position you in the center of this setup over here. Right. So, let's see the first battle over here. First combat action. It's about time. Midway is going to be bombed by 2 waves over here. And we can see they don't have any plane on the ground. Not a single plane on the ground. That's harsh, because that does mean, A, we're not going to take out a whole lot of things here on the ground, but B, they must be around somewhere. Maybe they have already spotted us and we just don't know it yet. That's just not good. The good thing is we're going to come in here with very little opposition. We're going to see a little bit of flak firing at our planes. They didn't do anything, and now our planes are going to come in here from the top and going to attack the airfield itself, and we've basically reduced the level of the airfield here by, well, 1 level, I guess. Right. Here's the second attack, very similar setup, so it does look very similar. We're going to see some AA. Doesn't seem to do any disruptions or anything like that. We're going to come in again, and we're going to bomb Midway, basically, towards dust over here. Now, that's good. That's good. But is it going to be enough? Are there further targets? Oh, no. It was the wrong target. It might have been the wrong target here. Right, okay, let's see. Right, what have we got? And let's do a follow-up then on the airbase itself. I think we might have only stricken at the... We might have actually only stricken at the seaplane base there by mistake. Big mistake. Big blunder. Let's wait for these guys to come back, because I'm not sure whether there are any enemy carriers here that we do need to be concerned about. And these flight operations will hamper our ability to launch new planes as we are coming in here. Right. 7 and 5 are being spotted, which is obviously not good. Where are you guys? 7 and 5. Okay, 5 is over here. Ooh, and 7 is one of our carrier groups, of course. Right, that's not great, obviously. Right. How are you guys? Do you have any search planes left? No, basically everyone is in the air. Okay, let's grab some of these guys here that have been airborne over some of these task forces. Okay, we've got 3 planes over 7. I think we want to boost that a little bit. Let's bring in at least 2 more over here to boost the combat air patrol here. And you guys, you've got 4, right? We've also got a relatively decent strike, so I don't want to disrupt that too much. But probably what we want to do then is send a couple more guys here in the air, and then send a couple of you guys here from 15 towards... No, let's stick over here. I think I don't want to expose the northern situation too much. So, in fact, what we're going to do is we're going to grab a couple of guys here from 13. We're going to send you towards the air here. And we're going to make sure to cover Task Force 5 with 2 groups here from just nearby. That should be okay. Right, Combat Air Patrol, you are up and ready to go. Our guys are coming back over here. And they're probably going to land very soon. We're going to see whether these... Ooh! Now that is the first good news over here. We are spotting someone. But on the other hand, Task Force 18 is potentially spotted at least. At least something is close to them. Now that's not the worst thing, because these are just destroyers and I'm not too concerned about them. let's move them anyway. And here's the big question now. We don't know anything about this over here. We don't know whether it's carriers, it might be tankers, it might be something very small and not that valuable. So do we want to strike at it? Now that is very similar actually to the conundrum that was faced by the planners on the Japanese side. It is definitively within strike range. It's only 9 hexes away. But if we are going to strike at it, we are going to lose the flexibility to basically do anything else. So I want to give this a single turn over here, see whether we can find out a little bit more about it or what we do know. Right, okay, a lot of stuff happening over here. A lot of our guys are now spotted. Basically, everyone is. So that's really not great. But let's see. Okay, 18 is the only one that has been spotted on 2 consecutive turns here. But yeah, don't know about these guys. We do know they're sailing away a little bit. And I do think what we want to do here is try to attack them. Thing is, we've got 11 groups landing at this moment here. This is just not ideal. This is just not ideal, and I do, curiously enough, find myself in a very similar situation as the Japanese did. We've got a lot of our planes landing. They are going to take up the next 40 minutes to do that. We do have a couple of our planes here on the runway, and we could strike at the enemy right away. But it would potentially do a little bit of a piecemeal attack. So let's try to see what would happen if we went in with all of these guys here. And try to attack this group. Now, it's a 20x range. They would be there at 10:20. They would be back by noon. And honestly, I think that's going to be all right. So let's try to do that. They're going to basically take off immediately because we have prepped them on the deck space. That will allow these guys here to land relatively nicely, I think. So that should actually be okay. Let's see. Yeah, that will actually speed up our landing procedures and recovery procedures while we're going to strike at these guys. We should do some of the targeting here and decide of how many of our guys are going to go for the high value ships. And I do think I like that a little bit lower, but sort of 80% is fine. Now, how many guys do we have on this strike? Doesn't actually tell us, does it? No, number of units 10. I think that's going to be all right. That's going to be a good strike here from Task Force 13. Task Force 7, you guys are set up a little bit differently. You've basically recovered a lot of your guys here too, so that's great. We've got the light carriers around to basically start an attack, but I do think we want to keep you guys back for a moment here to see whether we can find out a little bit more. Okay, let's hit the next phase and see what is going to develop and whether or not we're going to see... See, there we go. There we go. We know of another task force all the way up here. Again, we don't know what it really is, except that it's medium, whatever that does mean, but not much more than that. Our first strike here is starting to target these guys. All in all, we're coming in with 2 fighters, 4 dive bombers, 4 torpedo bombers. That's a good strike. But yeah, what else do we know? We know nothing about this medium task force over here. So let's see whether we can find out anything about these guys. So maybe send out a couple of search planes. I don't think we can put you as a search plane. No. We do want to... You need to come back. Okay, that's fine. Right, we don't have any cruisers back here. We do maybe have some over here. Yeah, we do. But basically all of your planes have been set up towards the earth searches already. You guys don't have anything in reserve either. Nothing over here, nothing over there. How about you guys? Do you have anything left? Yeah, you do. Okay, 2 planes left. We do need to send you sort of in that direction. Right, let's see. Let's see whether we can get that to work. So, yeah, let's put you into that search there. I think we can be a lot more limited like such. Maybe even 60 degrees. Would that work? Maybe not. Let's pick 120 just to be on the safe side here, and let's send you out. I do want to find out what's going on there. Maybe let's double up on that. That's going to be alright. Of course, we could send a strike there to find out what it is, at the risk of losing a couple of planes. And you know what? That's actually what we're going to do. So we can simply suicide one of our planes to that. So let's send you guys out towards over here. You have a pretty decent chance of not making it back. But if you are going to make it over there, you would find out what they are about. So let's send out a single group here of 4 guys to strike at them. Not an ideal composition, but a composition that I do think would work. Right, the next question is Midway itself, right? So you guys have all landed over here, more or less. We've got a couple of guys sent out, that's okay. But what we probably can do is send out another strike at Midway itself. So let's grab all of these bombers here to try to finish off that base and repeat exactly the mistake that the Americans made. Can I actually pick Midway itself? Yeah, okay, that is what I should have done earlier. Okay, fine. That strike does work, though. You do need 60 minutes to prep that. And I do think right now we don't have any escort planes. We do need some. So let's send out at least 2 of you guys. That's still 60 minutes. You guys, still 60 minutes. That's okay. We don't have anything in reserve over here in terms of bombers and such. But I think it's going to be alright. You guys can come along there as well. Why do you take 80 minutes? Why do you take 80 minutes? I don't understand. Right, let's keep you on the runway here. How about you guys? 60 minutes. Okay, you're going to come along there. And you're going to also contribute 1 fighter. Or maybe not, because it would delay basically everything. Can you at least send a fighter? Yeah, okay, that does work. Great. Okay, that's Task Force 7. I do think Task Force 13, you guys, I think we're going to stay... We're going to keep these guys around and basically not do anything funny with these guys. But what we're going to instead do is set these guys up here for potential naval attacks and follow-up attacks on the targets that we have identified. So very similar to the historical situation, really. Really, really interesting that we do find ourselves in that conundrum of taking out the land-based base, sort of ignoring the naval targets, because we don't know exactly what they are. Right, not that many news, curiously, on this turn. Well, there is a bit. Okay, Task Force 10 being spotted. Let's get you into cover there. You guys all fine? Yeah, everyone seems to be all right over there. Let's get you into the clouds. That's okay, same here with you. Right, let's see. I'm really, really intrigued to find out what these guys are, respectively. Okay, and here we go. This is our first attack by the Americans. So they are attacking Task Force, I don't know which one, 4 destroyers here by a couple of SB-2Us. Now, I'm not sure whether the U variant here is a carrier plane or not. I think it must be. So that is interesting. So they are going to come in and attack over here. The good news is they're not attacking the best of our ships and the most valuable, but they're still going to come after our destroyers, and that's certainly not good news. So they're getting in the first naval strike over here. It doesn't look like they did much damage. In fact, one of their guys has been destroyed by a close-in flak. That's good news, but the bad news is they must be about somewhere over here. That is these guys. Where are they coming from? I don't know. And that is Task Force 18. If Task Force 18 has been subject to 1 attack, I think there's a pretty good chance that it's going to be attacked again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a couple of you guys over here. You've got a lot of guys here airborne. Let's grab at least a couple of them, and at least 1 plane should be sent over here. Right, that's okay. You guys all fine? Yeah, we don't have any search planes here. No, that's okay. Good. Let's see. Let's try to find out what's going on here. Also, let's briefly check on you guys here, because I think you had a weird weird search pattern. Okay, that's okay. Wait for these guys. Can I not ask you to simply come back? Okay, apparently not. Right. We are coming in closer here. Where are these Americans going? I think they probably came in from Midway itself. Here's another attack by another couple of SB2Us. We did destroy them with flak. Kind of ahistorical, good flak operations here by our guys. So Task Force 10, I think, or was it this one? No, probably Task Force 18. Both of you guys have been spotted. How about you guys? Okay, no one spotted over there. That is good news. They're flying in back to Midway. We have started to set up a strike at Midway. You guys are coming towards that way, and we do probably want to move towards that so that our planes can make it home safely, at least if they do make it overall. Right. We are over this surface target. That's good news. What is not good news is all of these items here. A couple of guys spotted. Not too bad, is it? Right, let's get you guys into the rain squad. No, you have moved already, so we can't move you. That's alright. Let's see what else we can do. Yeah, probably send you there. And we know now this is a large surface force. So let's see what our strike is. It's sort of a mid-sized strike. It's not minimal, but we don't know exactly. Okay, well, that's disappointing. It's a couple of heavy cruisers and a lot of destroyers. That's not an ideal target for us. Indeed, I would say this is more or less a decoy, even, in that it's really not the important one. The important one is the carrier, and we did miss our chance because we were too hasty in sending out a strike. Nevertheless, let's see what this does do to us. We're probably going to lose a couple of planes here towards flak. Yeah, there we go, B5 and destroyed. Everyone else seems to be fine, though, so that's okay. But let's see what we can do. Lots of planes here targeting various different ships. Some hits here on the heavy carriers. Heavy cruisers. At least one of this on this destroyer there. Let's see what we do know about these. Okay, hit by one torpedo, hit by one bomb. It's not even a devastating result. So that is interesting. That is interesting. At least we know now that this target here is not the highest priority. That's interesting, but that does mean that these guys over here could be the carriers. It's 10:40, so we can still expect to do a couple of strikes here. Now, what is the situation? By one bomb, hit by one torpedo, yeah. We did draw first blood, that's good. But what else have we got? Okay, Task Force, you guys, you're just the light sort of mini Kidobutai. Task Force 13, you were the ones who we've sent out already, right? Well, we do have a couple of planes here. We could potentially start a strike with you. How many planes would that be? 4, 5, 8, 10. Not nothing. Task Force 7, you guys don't have anything spare, basically. Lots of planes here that could be sent in the air. I'm going to send a couple of you guys here in the air because I'm going to feel a little bit more comfortable with that. Not sure why you have such a long turnaround, but that's okay. Yeah, but I do think we need Task Force 13 here to launch a strike. It's not ideal because it's not sort of everyone striking at the same time, but still I think it's gonna be better than doing nothing instead. Right, okay, let's try to see whether we can strike them easily. No, there's some issue here. Okay, the distance to fly, 26 hexes, that's just way too high. Basically, you must be 13 hexes away. We only have a range of 20, so that's not going to work out easily. What we could do, though, is we could move into their direction as we are trying to strike them. But I think not. I think what we're going to do instead is we're going to ask all of you guys here to be on the deck and be ready to do a strike, but we're not actually going to launch the strike immediately. We're going to use our torpedoes that were historically the weapons that Japan was pretty good at using. So that's fine. We're going to use 2 of you guys here as escorts. You know what? Let's actually use 3 of you guys as escorts. That's fine. Good. Right, we're going to prep all of you guys, and then we're going to sail into their direction with, which task force was that? I think 13, right? Yeah, okay. So, task force 13, you are going to make it towards over there. Right, let's get you there. That's fine. You're now 12 hexes away, and I think we might launch at 11. That is still pushing our range. It's still a little bit too far, but I do think if we're coming in sort of into 9 hexes as they are flying in and returning, I think that would be okay. There we go. Next strike is coming in towards Midway. That's good to see, obviously. You guys are making it over there too, so probably very soon we do have some intel about you guys. Task Force 18 and 11. That's alright, that's not the most crucial ones. 19, you're okay too. You know what, let's actually come in there. We do think that they only have one heavy cruiser over here, so they must have split off the other one. We could potentially try to hunt it down, but I don't think that's a good choice here with steel carriers about. We think that this might be the case. Yeah, look at that. That's 2 groups over there. Right, let's see how the bombing of Midway is going to go. What do we have over here? Nothing, basically. Right, Task Force 13. You can move in a little bit. No, you've moved already. Okay. Yeah, let's try to see what's going to happen over here. And in Midway, of course, itself. Okay, this time we are going to actually strike the actual proper airfield. So that's nice to see. Yeah, we've got a lot of planes that are going to be in this strike. That's good. The bad thing is they do have a little bit of combat air patrol. So yeah, I don't know. Lots of planes on the ground, though. A couple of Mitchells, a couple of flying fortresses, and a couple of these other guys. Right, let's see what's going to happen over here. So first combat air patrol and flak, of course. They're going to do some damage against us, but we do have some escorts here. So ooh. Okay, one of our guys has been destroyed. One of them has been confused to a point where he's not going to attack. One of their guys has been aborted. That's not going to do a lot for us. But at least we have done a good strike over here. But that loss does already hurt. What did we do, though? We've basically confused a couple of these guys. We've destroyed one B-17. Honestly, not that much. I would have hoped for a little bit more here. And we've damaged one of these guys. So, I think we'll need to revisit that. But let's see what this guy is over here. Yeah, we do think it's a carrier group now. And that does, I think, put a very great incentive to thinking about launching a strike there. Right, we're going to move in these guys a little bit here to the south because I don't want these guys to be super exposed there. But yeah, we'll have to think about that. Okay. An okay trade-off at the best, I think. It's not really something to write home about. Okay, Task Force 15. You guys, what have you got? You've got just 3 planes or so that could launch a strike. That's really not that useful and impressive. You guys are much better. But will that be enough? You guys are going to see a couple of planes landing soon. That's going to be alright. I think what we're going to do here is we're going to prep you here with a torpedo. Simply so that you are ready to launch whenever you recover these guys. That's okay. Right, let's see what exactly they've got over there. Some of you guys might be able to tell me what ship it is, actually. It's a single carrier. Okay, and it's a single carrier, it's of course escorted by a couple of Wildcats, or protected. Large number of cruisers, large number of destroyers. We're not going to make it through over here. We're not going to achieve anything except for gaining some intel. So we're probably going to get shot down by the AA or by the Combat Air Patrol even. Right, let's see. Yeah, well, we aborted. We didn't actually lose the plane, which I guess is fine. Could not have really expected more, so that's okay. Right, yeah, we have identified them. Oh, naval air battle in with 2 carriers here. I don't think that's entirely true. The surprise effect has been lost. The Japanese have no more restrictions. Okay, so that's good to see. We can now launch more searches. And that is definitively good. Now, Task Force 13, you guys, do move in a little bit closer. And that should put you in at what range towards these guys over here? Come on, can I just select you, please? Okay, you are now at a good range of 11 hexes. I think 11 hexes is going to be good enough. So task force 13 at 12 hours. You are our hope. You are our hope for victory here. Let's get all of you guys set up to be on the target here against this carrier here. It's going to be 22 hexes. That's a bit of an issue because it's too far away, but we're going to sail towards that direction and hope to recover our planes as we are going there. The good thing about that is American planes typically have a lower range than us. So I think that's okay. Let's launch you guys. And we're, of course, going to launch you in a single wave over here. We're going to send out everyone, and we are going to make sure to have a nice compact alignment here against the most important ones. And that, I think, is fine. How are our statistics looking? Yeah, most of our planes would actually make it over there safely, so that's good. And you're going to be basically launched immediately. Let's do declare priority on this one. You guys are still going to provide combat air patrol here. We might have a little bit too little in terms of air patrol. Oh, it's not going to crash, is it? No. Okay, that's fine. And Task Force 7, you guys have just a couple of planes here. Nothing to write home about, that's okay. Task Force 15, we might send you in just to sort of finish everything off. And I think it's going to be alright. So, just out of curiosity, when is this strike going to arrive at the target? At 2 p.m. How about you guys? If you were to strike against this group here, you'd be coming in a little bit later. I think that's okay. We don't need to be exactly there at the same time. But if we were there at just a little bit later, I think that would still be sort of okay-ish. Just to make sure. How about this? Yeah, that does actually work. Right. So just to make sure that we are finishing off anything that might still be sort of afloat. Okay, I'm really nervous. I'm really nervous to see, are they sending out strikes towards us already? If so, that would be an issue. We're going to come in here and try to fight them. We've got you guys here. Can you actually make sure that we're always going to engage with our destroyers? And you know what? Similar for you guys over here, we're always going to engage. Right. And we are going to make it over there. That should be okay. Task Force 13, you do need to come into that direction. Task Force 15, you know what? We can go that way too. So that these guys here do have a chance of returning. Okay, I'm nervous. I'm really nervous. Okay, you guys, you are not going to make it home safely because of the range. Similar stuff for you, but that's okay. We are going to come towards you. Right, Task Force 7. I think we do want to keep you at least close so that these guys can be mutually supporting. You're going to recover these planes soon. That's going to be all right. How about you guys? You are just destroyers. You have a lot of destroyers, actually. Right, let's send you down here. Maybe you can engage these guys down there. I think in a surface engagement, that would generally be favorable towards us, so that's going to be okay. Right, lots of strikes being launched over here. So far, so good. Oh, we do have another contact down here. Now that is interesting, and we are seeing SBDs over Task Force 13 actually. Now that's not great because if they can make it over here with with scouts, that does mean they can certainly make it over here with other stuff too. We've got a lot of planes over here that we've probably just recovered and stuff. How about 7? You guys must be landing quite a couple of planes as well. Yeah, 22 planes are being landed over here. That's okay. Right, but what do we have here? That is very interesting. It might be further carriers. It's probably going to be further carriers. The enemy can't just only have one carrier. We don't know. We do not know. Right, you guys can't move, can you? No. You're going to try to come back. We have got you guys here from 13. We do need to move 13 in towards these guys, otherwise they're going to suffer horrible. Ooh, and we've lost sight of them. That's just really kind of horrible, because that does mean we're now in a very, very awkward position where if we can't find them. Or is that these guys down there? Then they must be turning around there. Well, that could very quickly end very awkwardly over here. How about you guys? You're just sort of doing. Yeah, okay, let's recall you guys. Yeah, you're too far away, I think, at this point. Let's get Task Force 15 down here so that you're supporting these guys. Let's get you guys over there soon, at least. Where are our battleships? Why are you so far behind, actually? Are you so slow? I don't imagine they would be so slow. Right, okay, you have found them. That's good. That does mean we are now going to see an attack. But here's the catch. We do see a couple of planes over Task Force 15 as well. So they do have a couple of planes here over our planes there. That's not good. Can we do anything about that? We've got 2 planes in the air here. We're going to send in a little bit more, but that is going to take too long. So that is going to be a big, big bomber. Okay, that is an issue. Task Force 7, you guys are pretty much recovered at this point. It's almost 2 o'clock, but we've got these guys over the task force. So I don't think we're going to launch them now, but what we could definitively do is take Task Force 7 and prep you guys to do something, right? So that is indeed what we're going to do. So let's grab these guys. Let's set you up for bombs and torpedoes respectively. That would actually take not too long. So that's very nice and impressive, actually. Good. Oh, I'm very excited. Right, let's get you guys here towards escort carriers. Okay, that is too much. 200 minutes. That is going to take too long. Right. Let's maybe get you down to this number. Escort. Yeah, it's too much. It's too much, really. Right. Let's get one of you guys back over here. Yeah, that's okay, I suppose. Right, we've got a lot of combat air patrol, but I think it's still a good idea. You guys moved already. Let's see what's going to happen over there. And of course, for Task Force 15. Right. I don't know which one is going to happen first here, but I'm very, very intrigued. Okay, our guys do go first. It's a single squadron of 4 dive bombers coming in. We do have 8 planes here on combat air patrol and a lot of AA, so I'm hoping that we can shoot them down before they're doing anything harmful, but that just might not be how it works out. Nope, they are damaged, so they are forced to return. That's good news. And here we are back with our second strike against them. We are coming in with how many? 12, 15 planes. They've got 5 planes here on combat air patrol. That's a lot of buffaloes, or 5 squadrons, I should say. So 20 planes on combat air patrol on their side. That will ravage our strike. Okay, we've got one of our guys aborted, one of our zeros actually, but we did shoot down one of the Wildcats, so that's already good news. And we've got a lot of planes that are remaining over here, and most of them should be going in for the carriers, and they do strike them kind of hard. I think there were a couple of dive bombs. I'm not sure. We do actually sink them. That is very, very good news. And indeed, we are even damaging one further Wildcat and destroying another. That is very, very good news. Hit by 3 torpedoes and 1 bomb. That is great. Whew. That is very, very good news. But there's further bad news. Okay, so let's consult this. Yeah, we did sink you. We did attack you. That's great. We are actually coming in with another strike now, so that is interesting. But this one over here is also kind of menacing. So let's pick Task Force 7, and let's see whether we can do a strike here against this unknown group. How long would it take you to get there? You could get there during the afternoon. So let's do that. That's fine. And let's actually shift all of these guys here towards that strike. 20 minutes. That's pretty good. I do like that idea. All of you guys are going to join in as well. 20 minutes, 20 minutes, 20 minutes. All of you guys are fine. Let's come in over here. Okay, 60 minutes. That's just way too long. Maybe one of you can go back to maybe one of them back there. Okay, 40 minutes. I think that's just acceptable. Yeah, let's do take you over there. That's going to be all right. We've got a lot of planes here that are still about. I'm going to send some of you here on the search pattern again to make sure that we are spotting over here and not getting rid of them, basically. So that's going to be all right. That's a very, very good first result over here. What else have we got? US strike has detected one. Okay, I think you guys are the returning ones. That shouldn't be too much of an issue. But Task Force 15, you guys do need to get a little bit stronger in terms of the air support here. We might actually want to sail you away a little bit. And let's see what we can do. I'm afraid that they're going to send in some stuff here from Midway itself, and we Japan just cannot take any losses on this second day over here. Okay, they are coming back. You guys are coming back towards us. That's okay. Lots of enemy scouts spotted. They're actually using their B-17s as scouts over here, which is okay, I suppose. Right, 15, 13. You guys have sent out your strike. 17, 60 minutes. Why 60 minutes? 20 minutes? 20 minutes? 40 minutes? What if we added this to you? 40 minutes. Okay, 40. Why do I sometimes see 60 minutes over here? Let's just make sure that this is prioritized. That always does take a moment here to update, but yeah. Come on, come on, come on. Oh, no, no, no. Don't crash now. Okay, there we go. 40 minutes, that's better. 40 minutes, 40 minutes. Okay, let's not get too creative here. I think you guys are fine. Right, Task Force 13, you guys have recovered a couple of your planes. But I think we're going to wait until these guys are returning because they are running on fumes. So I don't want to launch anything and then have these guys basically having to ditch as we're coming up. So yeah, there we go. Okay, here is the second strike on that group that we have already attacked before with a carrier. And we're only going to see AA now because the carrier has gone and so has the Combat Air Patrol. Still a lot of AA. But we're now only striking the heavy cruisers, which again are not our most important priority here. I mean, I don't think we've done anything towards them. Indeed, we did receive some damage, so not the greatest result over here, but it was intended to be a little bit of a follow-up, so I think it's okay. Well, we should see a strike being launched towards these guys very soon, and we do need to come towards these guys here with Task Force 17. Task Force 7 can come under these clouds, and they should start to launch there soon. So that all seems fine. Now, I do actually want to move up some of our... Where are you guys going, actually? You're coming down there. You know what? Can I actually ask you to come sort of into this direction here? That's our most important battleships. Right, let's see. Come on, we should start to see something being launched at these guys. Come on, Task Force 7, what are you doing? You should be launching soon. You should be launching basically now. Okay, some guys here launching, landing on Task Force 13, that's okay. How about you guys? Yeah, you do need to come back. How's this stuff going over here? Well, come on. These guys are what I really, really am interested in. Ooh, and here's another attack. So they have come in again. And here's the big weakness of Japan. It does not have any radar dishes. So these SPDs are coming in from we don't know where, but I do have some expectation, and that is that medium group here. But with only two groups of A5M, so not even zeros, we're not going to be able to drive a lot of these guys off. That's not actually true. We drove two of them off, but that does still mean eight planes have made it through. So two groups of two. They did strike Tahijo over here, and they probably did a lot of damage to it. Right, that's not great. So we have been hit by one bomb. There's some major damage, major fire. AA has been reduced. That's not big, that important. There's also damage to the flight deck, and that does mean these guys they cannot operate anymore. And of course, the heavy fires will cause further damage, and that is a big issue. So these guys over here are really, really struggling. Now, can we help them out a little bit? Because I suspect that might not be the last group to strike over here. Let's send out a couple of combat air patrol planes here, a couple of zeros, and let's get a couple of more airborne as we are entering the afternoon. It doesn't make sense to hold them back for too long if during the afternoon we don't have any reason to believe that they are going to be not used anyway. So that's fine. And by the way, Task Force 7 got a lot of guys here on the tarmac, so to say. Right, yeah. Let's try to get you airborne. That's okay. These guys are striking at the medium group over here, which I do now think must be carriers. If Task Force 15 here has been attacked by, and they are being attacked again by more carriers, these are carrier-based planes. I don't think they're coming out of Wake. That is a big issue here. Eight groups, and only one of our groups here is capable of defending. They're going to come in hard. They're going to sink ships. They're going to come for the cruisers? Now that's a big surprise. They did sink a destroyer, they did sink one of the cruisers, but they did not actually attack Hosho. That's curious. That's a very curious result. And I do think they must be coming in from here. They can't be coming in from there unless they were airborne before we did sink the carrier, which is absolutely a potential scenario. Right, let's see what we can do at striking these guys there. Very soon we're going to start to see bombardments here. Damage scuttled. Yeah, okay. Taju is the fires did go out of control. A little bit to be expected, but yeah, we can't do too much about that. You guys over here, no landing. Hangar capacity is not large enough. Right. Can we? You are landing at Task Force 7. That's okay. That's what you're supposed to do. Can I ask you guys to land somewhere else? Task Force 15. How about you guys? Okay, you've got a couple of guys in the hangar. Got a little bit of airbase. Okay, you guys. I don't have the hangar space. Is the issue? Right. Can we actually get you guys here to, let's say, cover for Task Force 13? And then I do want you guys to return to Task Force 13. So basically go over there and land over there. That's going to be all right. That's going to bring some space in over here. And can I actually in some way ask you guys to land somewhere else? I don't think I can. I definitely can't change you guys around. I could put you on the deck here and get you to bomb something. What if I ask you guys here to do a transfer towards Task Force 13 as well? Yeah, let's try to do that. Let's try to prioritize that so that we are getting some hangar space here for these guys who are landing. Hopefully that is going to work. Okay, we lost an escort carrier. The Americans lost a carrier. All in all, a good trade, I think, but just barely so. The big question is, what are we going to do next here? Okay, just dive bombing attack on some destroyers. That's really not that important. So, yeah, fine. Yeah, some damage here to some destroyer. Doesn't matter too much, honestly. The big question is, what is going to happen over here? Right, and also, what do we have over here? We've got one group here, Task Force 5. Actually, come on. I just want to pick Task Force 5, please. And sail them into there. Okay, it doesn't work. Fine. Let's see what's going to happen over here. Come on. Do a strike at these guys. We do know about the task force here. I think that's probably just the cruisers and stuff. Let's get over here so that these guys can return safely. Let's get you guys over here. That's all right. And let's get you guys here under the cloud cover. Because of that, I think it's going to be useful. Right. Anyone over here? Yeah, let's send you over there as well so that you guys are landing. You're going to prioritize that still. We're going to lose a couple of planes here to ditching. But let's see whether that is going to be another attack here on a carrier force. I do suspect it is. I just don't know. Right, there we go. It is another carrier. I don't know what it is. Is that Lexington? And they've got 7 planes in the air here, or 7 groups in the air. That's quite a lot. But as long as we are going to get a couple of our planes through, I think... I mean, we've got a lot of planes here. And hopefully a couple of them... Okay, ooh. 3 groups destroyed, 1 damaged. Not good. Against just a little bit of aborted missions by them. But yeah, most of our guys are going for the carry, and that is, of course, great news. Because I think we are gonna sink it. Nice. 4 torpedoes, 2 bombs. That's great. But at what cost? 5 air groups destroyed. 5 destroyed. 1 aborted, 1 damaged. That's harsh. That's a harsh loss here in terms of our airmen for what we did sink. But still, that's 2 American carriers down. That is great news. And there's another group over here, but I don't know what it is. But we're going to try to sell you forward in that direction. Let's actually get you guys here to be off. That's okay. You guys all fine over here. Task Force 5, can you get into that hex, please? And maybe you guys too. Then you guys are heavy cruisers. Yeah, let's try to get you over here into surface engagement. And you know what, you guys over here, let's make sure that we are going to attack, at least in sort of every scenario. You're going to attack anyway, so that's good. Our groups over here are set up kind of nicely, so I think all in all that doesn't look too bad. We do need to make it back, and I do think you guys have some range issues, but I think we're going to come there as soon as possible. At Task Force 15, you guys are still, yeah, you are suffering a lot. Yeah, but we can't help it. I can't actually tell you to do anything else. So that's fine. We will just need to take the losses. Nothing we can do about that. Right, come on, you guys do come home, please. That medium group, I don't think we are not going to be able to. It's 7:20 very soon. We're going to see an enemy group over here. Ooh, we are seeing a lot of coastal defenses here, which apparently do a lot of damage here against our destroyers. That's not great. I would have expected our shore bombardment to be a little bit better than that, especially as we do have Runa in that hex. I would have expected that to be a little bit more aggressive. Right, let's get you guys closer towards that hex over here. Maybe we can achieve something over there. Task Force 7, you do need to come towards these guys. Task Force 13, I think you're right where you're pretty good where you are, I think. And Task Force 15, can we change anything? Well, yeah, we can. We can send you guys over there. Okay, yep, let's try that. Coastal defense. But yeah, soon I would hope at least that our shore bombardment would overwhelm them. Right, further air to sea battles. Now that's interesting. Further SBDs. They might have launched before we sank their carriers. And then they're going to attack Task Force, I think Task Force 7 over here. But we do have a lot of combat air patrol, so I really, really can't see them making it through here. With 14 squadrons on our side in the air. But we only destroyed one. One is still about, and they are going to attack the Suriju, which does not take any damage, and we're even destroying the second one over here as they're making their run-ins. That's good to see, and fairly lovely indeed. Right, we've got a large surface. We don't know exactly what these guys are over here, but they are certainly around, so that is a bit of an issue. Do we see further naval stuff? No, just scouts being spotted. That's okay. It's almost 8 o'clock, so it almost is too late for them to do anything. Task Force 15, can you send anyone over? No, you're just still kind of landing guys who are really on their last fumes. No. Yeah, it will be all right, I think. Task Force 7, how are you guys looking? Got a lot of planes in the air. That's okay in principle. We've got a couple of planes that are back on the way towards you. That's okay. And Task Force 13, you guys have a lot of planes in the hangar now. But I don't see you being able to do any sort of strike and come back actually. Let's just suppose we were to strike at Midway because it's sort of the closest. Come on, come on. Sometimes the clicking on it is a bit weird. Yeah, you can see it would land after dark. So I don't think that's a good choice here. Right, let's do keep you in the hangar then. Okay, that's basically fine. You guys are basically gonna rest up for the day then. And hoping that we're not going to see too many Americans strike at us in the meantime. They might still have at least one carrier about. Historically, they did have 3 carriers, but we don't know whether that is the case because, yeah, okay, landing in bad conditions, not great. Really not great over here, but all in all, we can't do much about it. Okay, you guys, you are on autopilot towards down here anyway, so that's okay. Move you close in there too, and then you guys over here too. Would like to get in a little bit more heavy surface assets as we are coming in sort of towards the night phase, at least over here. Right, warning. US strike has been detected at Task Force 6. Okay, you guys are over here. We don't know exactly what you are, but probably you're coming in from Midway. That's alright, you are pretty much the heavy cruisers. Well, let's try to get you under cloud cover. No, we can't. You've moved already. Okay, 820, 620. Not that much that we can do. At this point, flight operations are a little bit too late. And look at that. They are 2 dive bombers and an air squad and a fighter squadron. And they're going to probably do some damage here against some of our heavy cruisers. Yeah, okay, there were some hits there. What was it? 1 bomb. Not the worst. Not the worst. We do need to be quite aggressive here, I think, with our heavy assets. Right, coastal defense is doing stuff against us. That's really not nice. Structural damage against Kurashiro. That's a destroyer, hit by 2 shells. Coastal defense, hit by 1 bomb. Can't you do more surface engagements? I would like to do some bombardments here of the air group. Right, okay, let's move the cruisers into this area here as well. I would really hope that should be enough to overwhelm them. Right, and let's get the destroyers here towards the front too. I'll do that. Okay, fine. But sort of the air attacks must cease now. Ooh, look at this down there. We think we have spotted a carrier down here. Now, I find that unlikely, but the important thing is we don't know. And we don't know whether they're going to end up at daybreak, so I'm actually going to park back Task Force 7 a little bit over here. I think that's going to be alright. You guys can advance a little bit towards these guys. You are asked to engage all the time. And I think during the night phase, I think we do get some bonuses. At least I think we should. Another air to sea battle. Okay, they are not resting. They are still going strong. And they are attacking a lot of 3 destroyers sunk by 4 dive bombers here. Wow. That's harsh. That's really harsh. Wow. I did not expect that. Well, okay, you know what we're going to do? We're going to take our heavy cruisers here. Come on. And we're going to sail them towards over there. I do want to see whether we can find that carrier group and engage it at night. That would be pretty fantastic if we could do that. You are pretty low on various ships, though. Oh, that was not actually the cruisers. That was Haruna. Well, if that's the case, let's try to send a couple of destroyers your way. Can I detach at least like 3 of you guys? Okay, and then we're going to grab these guys. And over here, can I merge you? I think we should be able to merge you. Yeah, okay. 1 battleship, 4 destroyers. That should be pretty neat. Yeah, I think I would really hope that we can do that. Right, let's see. 8 o'clock now. Probably going to lose contact down here very soon. But we can also sail in that direction. Are you? Yeah, you're now on always engaged. That's lovely to see. Coastal defense is doing a number on us. Okay, that just doesn't work. We can't have all of these guys sitting here taking losses. We're gonna sail out. I just can't. Can't use it that way. Right. And then you guys can get over here. Try to fight them. No, it's a large surface force, but that's alright-ish. You guys do get rid of the autopilot. We did take way too many casualties here from the shore bombardments, which is really not nice. Right, getting you guys closer to there as well. Let's try to find that carrier down here. Really intrigued by that. By the way, why are you not landing? No landing this phase. No, no, no. Why are you taking so long to land? Because your hangars are full. Yeah, we just overloaded you. That's okay. Not a biggie. Right, let's get you closer, and then let's see whether we can find someone down here. That would be really interesting during the night phase here. Right, you're on always. You are on always. And you're on never. Well, you're just a single destroyer at this point. Right, let's see. Must be somewhere around there. A little bit concerned about that group too. Okay, we have spotted them there. They're probably going to be told to withdraw under sort of any circumstances. That's all right. You guys, can you actually go towards over here? Protect sort of the carriers. Don't want them to be stumbling in on anything. Our transports are coming in too, so I think they should be in there in the morning. That should be okay. Right. Big question is again down here. Right, let's try to do this. Okay, I think you should be attacked. Let's try to find someone down here. Okay, I don't have any more movement points. It's alright. I'm gonna find you down here. Any news? You escaped the surface engagement? Well, that's unfortunate. Yeah. Nothing to be seen down there, though. Do 1 hour turns here. I think during the night we can accelerate this somewhat. Don't see them anywhere down here. But again, during the night, without any kind of radar, this is kind of unlikely. Oh, there's actually a large group over there. Come on, come on. No, they are down here. We just know that. But it doesn't do us any good to know that without finding exactly where they are. Here's that you guys are still airborne. I mean, it's one fighter. No, but we can't send anyone out anyway. So, yeah, it has to be alright. Hey, you guys did withdraw over there. Yeah, and sort of the area, you can see sort of the dynamics happening here at night as sort of the uncertainty increases where they actually could be. And we just don't know anything about it anymore. Okay, we do know a little bit more about you guys up here. Medium surface. Doesn't tell us a lot, frankly. Right, I think what we're going to do is we're going to move in a little bit closer to Midway with you guys. So that we have a good strike capability on them during the morning. And basically can support anyone over here. I think you guys are going to withdraw anyway. But we don't know about the carrier down here. We should make sure that at least the cruisers are somewhat central. So that they can send out search planes quite quickly. Right, yeah, we are getting to the morning phase here. I think we can accelerate this slightly. Let's see. Come on, 1 hour. 3:40. 4 o'clock. Let's do give it 1 more hour. That's 5 o'clock then, and at that point we can prep the air operations for the next day, and that should be where we really can strike at them. So that should be kind of interesting. Right, let's see. Come on, come on, come on. Right, lots of things that we can do now. Right, Aruna, you can't do anything, but you guys should be able to send out basically a 360 search into all directions. That should be okay. Right, and we're just simply going to say all of you are going to do that. And hopefully we can find them somewhere down here. You guys don't have anyone, you guys don't have anyone, you guys don't have anyone who can find anything. Neither do any of these groups, I think. No, that's fine. Task Force 21, you guys maybe. Fuzu and Yamashiro. Let's actually move you guys a little bit ahead of things. You guys are alright. You guys do have a couple of heavy cruisers. So let's send you about... You know what? Actually, one of you is going to stay back. All of the other guys do basically send out a 240-degree search. I think this is fantastic. Good to see. Task Force 7, you do have a lot of heavy cruisers too. I think that search pattern does service extremely nicely. Let's basically send out everyone that we have, except for one. That should be okay. And then the main cruisers, or carriers actually, you guys should actually start to prep some operations here against Midway. Let's try to take out Midway right in the morning. There we go. Right in the morning, we're going to try to take you out. And we're going to basically send out all of our strike planes from Task Force 7, even the one from the light carriers. You should be able to do that very early on and very nicely. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take some of these guys here, going to come in and support. That should be fine. I think four guys to escort you should be more than enough. I think that's fine. So that's Task Force 13, I think, was it? No, Task Force 7. And Task Force 13, you guys, basically, well, one of the things that I'll probably want to do is send you guys here out on a search patrol into Zispetan. Yes, I think Zispetan is fine. Good, there we go. Right, let's send all of you guys out. Then hopefully one of you guys can actually land over here too. Right, and then the rest of you guys, I think it makes some sense to move you guys over here. Prep for bombs, prep for torpedoes, prep for bombs, prep for torpedoes. Ensure that you are going to be the first one to launch over here. We can't do that because these guys would not be able to land. Okay, let's do that slightly differently then. Okay, let's simply make sure that you guys will not be completely overwhelmed here. Okay, 60 minutes, I think that's fine. Then we're going to see right in the morning, we're going to send up everyone else. Good. Okay, let's do an hour here and see what we're going to find, especially down here. But also over here. Maybe there's going to be something. Right, 5:20. We should see the first launch here at Midway going to happen very soon. There we go. These are the first guys. We should see the first searches starting down here. Haven't found anything yet. It's kind of curious, but let's see what that is going to be about. Right, and then Task Force 13, how are you guys doing? Can you set this up? Yeah, that's going to take 3 hours there. I think that's all right, though. You guys are going to land. That's going to be all right, too. I do want to set up a couple of escort planes here. We really did have a little bit too little last time. Yeah, and I do want to do some combat air patrol here. I think this looks okay-ish. Right, let's see over there. Hit me some messages there. Let's try to read those. Landing in bad conditions. Okay, you did not do too well. Everyone else is sort of going about their business. Okay, but we haven't spotted anyone down here. That is a little bit unfortunate, but we're going to strike at them now, so that's good to see too. How's Task Force 13 doing? Okay, yeah, you're still doing sort of your thing there. That's okay, though. Let's try to get a couple of you guys here on... Okay, you've got a major traffic jam just like that. Gonna be alright. Let's get you into the air. And then Task Force 15, I think you guys can also just throw up a couple of planes here and see what's going to happen with that. Okay, fine. Good. Come on, where are you down here? Okay, here's the airfield attack on Midway. That's good. 6 squadrons on their side. We've got 4 to escort us. Quite a bunch of other planes to strike, actually, at the airbase of Midway itself. Let's see what we're going to lose in the attack. 1-0, basically, but we did destroy 2 of their guys and get a lot more of them to be aborted. Destroyed 2 squadrons on the ground, the Mitchells and the Wildcats. That's good. But a lot of SBDs, 10 SBDs. Did you see that? That's dramatic. They might soon start to scramble all of these planes and start to come afterwards over here. That's not good. That's just really not great. Let's try to get you guys back. You guys are going to come down here. You guys are going to come there, since you can at least. We do have a little bit of an intelligence gain somewhere over here. Okay, there is a medium group over there. Let's try to find out what it is. But they are going to strike at our cargo ships here. So the big question is, can we actually escort these guys? And we didn't find any carrier group down here. That is annoying. That's annoying big time. Okay, Task Force 7, you guys are landing ships. Task Force 13, I think your guys are alright. We could launch at these guys, but I'm not too convinced that that is going to be the best course of action here. Right, you guys are fine. How about Task Force 13? Do you have anyone who's doing combat air patrol? No, you're sort of all clogged up. How about Task Force 7? How about you guys? Can you bring in some air patrol? Yeah, well, at least let's launch up a couple of guys here. Bring at least the escort carriers here should start to launch a lot of planes. I think we're soon going to see a lot of air battles happening here. Right, let's see. This would be critical, but they are going to come in at very short notice. Go on, what do we know? Lots of enemy scouts. Not a big surprise. We only have seen that one group there. That's really, really disheartening. Right, and in terms of combat air patrol, anyone who can do anything? Okay, Task Force 15, yeah, you have to sort of guard yourself. Task Force 13, you guys still okay? Get a couple more in the air here. Task Force 7, you guys are still trying to get a couple of planes airborne. Right. Let's see what we find out. I'm really disappointed that we didn't find the carriers down here. Did find something else over here now. What do we know about you? Position updated? Yeah, that's fine, but don't know much about you. Some heavy cruisers there, presumably, but no carriers. And again, carriers are the most important things for us. But at least at 8 o'clock, we should be able to see our strike here at Midway. Our plane starting to run for Midway. There we go. There's an air group there. That's not good. An American air group. Right. Task Force 7. How many planes have you got in the air now? A lot is the answer. That is encouraging. Let's try to get a couple more airborne, especially on the light cruisers here. That's okay, but really the big one is Task Force 13. You guys are all bunched up over here because we anticipated to find a target and we didn't. Okay, you know what, Task Force 7, can you send a couple of your planes towards Task Force 14, I think, to escort them? Jesus. Stop jumping all over the place. Okay, sometimes the interface does that. I think it's because it has originally been optimized for mobile, and sometimes that's just really fine, and sometimes it's just really not. Okay, you know what? In that case, let's simply see where these Americans are going for. And we're just gonna have to accept that they're gonna sing something. Right, yeah, they're gonna come in hard against these transport ships. Again, not much that we can do about that. We're going to skip all of the animations and just see what's going to come out of there. Apparently not much. That's encouraging. That's nice. Yeah, they actually flying back there. We've only spotted these guys over there, and still nothing down here. Absolutely nothing down there. Right, let's come over there then. Let's try to start engaging these guys. We're going to bring our battleship over that way. And we're going to bring this battleship over here. I mean the battleship, not Task Force 7. Okay, if that's the case, then we're just going to come a little bit closer there. How about you guys? Can you just please advance into Midway itself? As soon as we start unloading there, I think we should be doing a lot better. But obviously we're not doing that yet, so that is a bit of an issue. Right, you guys are fine. Anyone else over here? No, yeah, we were hit by a couple of bombs here, but apparently nothing sunk. Intelligence gain there. Quote unquote gain, because we didn't really learn anything about them. I think we can do another strike at Midway here with Task Force 13, is it? No, sorry, Task Force 7 it is. Right, Task Force 7, you guys do go ahead. Pretty much all of you, just everyone. We do need to disrupt their operations from there. And the big issue is they do have a lot. No, sorry, I do need to target this. There we go. They do have a lot of planes that are now stationed there, and pretty much simply because they took in probably all of the planes from the carriers that we destroyed and that was still airborne, and then they did turn around and came back basically to that place. Right. Let's see, there's going to be another strike from their side on our transport ships here, but we have started to unload. That should be very nice. Oh, Jesus, look at that. Eight dive bombing squadrons. That's a lot of planes here. That's a lot of damage. That's a lot of sunk ships. 2 destroyers. Not great. Not great at all, my friends. I would have hoped that our early... We were on the airfield pretty early, and we just didn't quite manage to do a lot of things there. Right. Okay, let's see. Come on, start to unload on Midway, please. Only have found these guys over there yet. Okay, coastal defenses, they are sinking our stuff. Why are we not unloading? We really should start to see some unloading here. Can't see anything down here either. Could try to attack these guys, but we only have destroyers, so I don't think that's necessarily the best idea. Right, let's basically pile everyone into there. You guys are fine over here. Let's move you guys down there. If we're not going to find any carriers, we might as well strike these guys here with our prepped strike from Task Force 13. And you know what? I think that's exactly what we're going to do. So let's grab Task Force 13 over here. You guys, and let's basically move all of you, 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 and all of you onto a strike against which one? Which group are we going to pick? I think this one. Why not? Some units do not have enough endurance. I think you're going to be alright. Yeah, let's just send you out there. I think that's fine. And what we're going to do to support that is we are going to move Task Force 13 a small way towards that way. But basically, all of you guys are going to move there. Fine. Good. Come on, Midway. Midway, you do need to fall. We do have another strike coming in for Midway here. That's good. Basically, all of our transport ships are now on Midway where they need to be. I would really expect that we're going to start to see some strikes on them. Doesn't look like it. And they have... Oh, we are seeing a strike down here. Now, that is extremely interesting because that does tell us they must be somewhere in this direction over here. And I'm thinking probably down here under these cloud cover there. So, you guys, are you still sending out support ships? No. Yeah, you do need to come back. That's all right. We are going to come that way. We've just sent out the strike, so that's a little bit unfortunate. But probably until we are finding them down here, that is going to take some while. Look at that. They are actually returning over here towards this destroyer, and they're coming in with way too many planes. Just 8 squadrons here of planes. So that destroyer is going to sink. But we have found them. And we are attacking Midway again. So let's see. Yeah, two zeros destroyed. But at least let's do come in and destroy a lot of them on the ground. We are not doing a lot of damage on the ground, even though they're extremely tightly packed over here. Does make some sense as historically Midway was kind of very, very, very strong. Okay, what's happening here? You're just ravaging our transports, but we have started to unload, and that does mean they're very soon gonna lose that position there. Right, okay, we are also going to send some planes that way. That's cool. Let's try to find these guys down here, irrespective of that destroyer that was sunk. That's okay. You guys coming back there. That's okay too. Everyone is sort of landing. That's lovely. And hopefully Midway is going to fall very soon. There is an enemy group. That is very likely to be the carrier. And that is very, very lovely indeed. Do we have anyone who could potentially strike at that? I don't know. Come on, guys. Task Force 7. No to you. You guys are sort of recovering, everyone. You are the ones who are recovering. Task Force 7. Okay, if we were to strike down here, would that be... Yeah, that would be in range. So let's try to send that out. You guys are a bit meaningless. You guys can support. You guys can support at least a little bit. That's alright. We don't have a lot of strike planes here. Yeah, they're, I think, going for the other place, but that's okay. Let's do send you out. Right, and then we do need to try to do a surface engagement down here. We do have the heavy cruisers here, so they should be relatively capable of doing that. Okay, you guys are coming down there. You are with Task Force, say? Okay, that was 7. Right, that I didn't want to intend to do, but okay. You guys with 13, you guys are fine there. Let's see what we can do down here. You guys actually going further south there, so that might not be the carrier down here. That might indeed be even further to the south. Lots of stuff happening over here, so the game is actually slowing down noticeably. Yeah, okay, now our surface engagements here really do start to make a difference, and I think we basically destroyed most of the operational capabilities there. Right, let's see how that attack here is going to go at 1200 hours, and then we do need to find out what's going on down here. Right, there we go. Heavy cruisers being attacked. Basically not losing anything. Taking 2 heavy cruisers there and I think a destroyer. Looks like a couple of good hits. Indeed, one of them has sunk. We are losing a lot of airmen. So that's a good number of heavy cruisers being damaged here. Nice to see. Then I'm going to come back. Let's see what's going to happen over here with this engagement. Let's come down there too. And then let's have Task Force 13 come towards you. So that you are a little bit safer. You guys can't move yet, but that's going to be alright. And Midway, I think, should start to fall very, very rapidly now. Let's get you on there. And let's see whether we can do some damage here with the surface engagement. This is actually the first surface engagement. Gunfire, lots of gunfire. They do have the heavy cruiser, of course. Ooh, and we don't seem to be coming out on top of things here. I would have expected a little bit more where the heavy cruiser was damaged. But was that enough? Unloading, our troops have started to unload. That's good news, definitely. And let's see whether anything develops down there. Let's see whether anything develops over here. And let's accelerate things slightly. Come on. What's going to happen down here? Really intrigued about that one. Right, let's move over here with you guys. You've all moved, so that's okay. You guys are going to come back there. That's okay too, obviously. Come on, Midway does need to fall. Okay, not yet. Any engagement over here and or down there. The game is really coming to a crawl here. Okay, unloading damage. What's that damage? Scuttled. Okay, yeah. Sometimes the surface stuff over there is really a bit irritating. Can we merge you guys? No, we could only detach you. It's okay. Come on, scenario should be over soon. Okay, you guys are returning. Well, basically, you just haven't found anything. Unfortunate, but it does happen. But really, we do need control over Midway. Not optional. I mean, the airbase basically has been taken out, but that's about it. It's starting to become late afternoon here, which does mean soon going to be in a bit of a pickle. Right. I do think you guys should have some scouts ready, right? Let's try to find the enemy, and I do think it must be, at least vaguely, somewhere over here. Yeah, that should be okay. Because I'm fine over here. Come on, let's get you over there. Jesus, sometimes the controls. Right, so sort of slipping in behind Midway now. Sort of hoping that we do find something down there that might enable us to do something. Right. Still Midway is holding out. Surprisingly long, actually. Also, I'm surprised that we're not seeing more naval battles over here. Nor anything down here. This is a really interesting bit. I would really have expected there to be a carrier because we did see a strike from here. It just seems we can't spot it, I think. Okay, can't merge you. Unfortunate. But come on. There we go. It's right in the corner. We're pretty far away though. I don't think a strike is going to be viable. We're going to still try. Okay, so task force 13. Let's grab all of you guys here. Everyone who basically can still run. And we are going to order a strike on this target here. We're going to come in. We're going to land very late though. Yeah, no, that's basically not viable. We could send a smaller strike, but I don't think so. We're going to try to come there with our surface ships, and that's going to be it. Not be realistic. I mean, we could do it for the sake of scoring here, but again, I think that's just a little bit silly. We're going to run that way though. Still bring troops onto shore in Midway. This would be a very interesting surface engagement. But I kind of doubt whether we're going to see that being the case. Come on. Come on. Yeah, they're going to withdraw. Of course they would. Come on, you should engage them. Well, I think very soon we're going to see the end of this scenario here. I would really hope that you're going to be engaged down there. And that we do see Midway being taken over. Oh, there we go. Okay, that is it. That is unfortunately the end of the scenario. Control of Midway does go to us, I think. Midway operative? No. Yeah, just time and attrition. We did not score enough hits here quickly enough, but we did score a lot of hits here against the enemy carrier. So let's see what has been sunk. Enterprise and Hornet has been sunk, along with Portland, Anderson, and Hammerman, and heavy damage to Astoria. Lots of planes being destroyed, actually. Would not have expected that. 23 SBDs, lots of Wildcats, lots of torpedo and dive bombers. Surprisingly large number of B-17s. I thought we would have scored less there. But on the other hand, we did lose quite a couple of zeros, 6 squadrons of that. We did lose Taiju. We did lose an awful lot of destroyers. But honestly, I'm not going to buy all of that because it was just silly shore bombardment capabilities. But yeah, nevertheless, planes we did kill more than they did. We did score more on the carriers. We did score more on the heavy cruisers. Destroyers, they scored quite a bit. Transport, they scored quite a bit. I'm going to give them that. I am kind of salty that we did not gain control of the Midway here, even though we basically brought in everyone who could, and even though we had brought in very heavy assets to bombard the airfield there. But yeah, that being said, I think it's been a great run. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Hope to see you around. And if you're watching this on YouTube, please do leave a like. Bye bye, guys.